Said we know Deion ain't the loyal type to the black community because he the one who also criticized Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to get the whitest school in the country to offer him some money to come teach them because he could have went somewhere. They were making a statement. Deion was sent to Colorado to make a statement that every one of them ninjas got a price. Find his and pay him off.
It's up there. It's up there. Ooh, thank y'all so much, man. Appreciate y'all.
It's Up There podcast live show was like, it was real cool. The host, he was asking a lot of like good questions for Umar to like, he was giving a lot of pushback for Umar to give his more, you know, more what he had to say about the topics he had.
My experience of the It's Up There live podcast show was amazing. I came because I met Loon. Next time you have a show, I definitely will be in attendance, and I have my own podcast, so I'm definitely learning a lot from this man. King is giving me gems every time I see him.
I really enjoyed the It's Up There podcast live show. I learned a lot.
The It's Up There live podcast show was amazing. It was a good time and always informational and the perfect date night for a Friday night.
I think the It's Up There live podcast was phenomenal.
Definitely a platform that I am so glad to be a part of. It was definitely enlightening and motivating and empowering.
Oh, it was awesome. I am so glad. I had so many other things going on tonight, but I made it important. It was very important for me. And it was also important for me to bring my grandson to share with everybody I know.
Once again, put your hands together for my man on the It's Up There podcast, my man Big Loon.
What's up, my brother? Be safe. Good afternoon, everyone. I want to thank everybody for being here today. I go by Big Loon, It's Up There podcast. For those of you that don't know me, I've been instrumental in foundation of podcasts for hip hop and black men. So I thank y'all for coming out. This is a live taping. What we're gonna do tonight is have a very, very important conversation with Dr. Umar Johnson. Any of y'all know Dr. Umar? All right. Cool. Without further ado, man, let's bring out Dr. Umar Johnson.
Brother, all right. Can we get the
I'll just click okay. All right. Dr. Umar, how are you, sir?
I'm well. Glad to be back in Nashville. It's been about 4 years. This might be my third visit overall. I end up in Memphis a lot more. I'm not sure why, but I have to start spending a little bit more time in Nashville.
You know, your last time in Nashville, ironically, we did a podcast.
Yes, sir.
It was at the beginning of this thing that I've created, and you are my first repeat guest. I told you that backstage. This thing is important to me, right? The conversations, the curriculum, the things that we discuss is very important. For me to have a repeat guest for my audience speaks volumes. And I want to let you know that, as I did in the back, you know, in public, that I appreciate what you bring to the
brother. Appreciate you as well.
Today we're gonna have a heated conversation.
All right.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir.
So for the recording, you guys, I need to start off speaking to the camera, so y'all give me a second. Welcome to It's Up There podcast. I go by Big Loon, your active and attractive host for another episode of the fastest growing podcast on the market right now. Who we have here today is a monumental force in black culture. This guy is someone that if you ain't seen him, you had to be hiding under a rock. We got Dr. Umar Johnson in the building. to have a monumental conversation. I don't want to, I told you back there, I don't want to really have a conversation about your school, because everywhere you go, we have the same conversations, and I think they put you in this spot where it's just comfortable for you to speak, and I want us to have a real conversation today. But for the audience, can you give them an update on your school really quick?
Absolutely, brothers and sisters. And let me first say thank you to those of you who have supported and donated to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. We get a lot of donations from across the state of Tennessee, a lot of them. And we just completed all the renovations on the school. So now, yes. So now we have an HVAC inspection that'll take place in a few days, and then we'll be applying for our certificate of occupancy from the city of Wilmington, Delaware. Once that's done, we're going to have a paint day to paint the school, a cleanup day to clean up, ain't much to clean up, and then a furniture day to move all the school furniture in, and then we're going to have a grand opening for the community. So I want to invite all of you to come on up to Wilmington, Delaware, to the grand opening of the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. We're not going to start school for the young people for another year because we need time to get all that right, but we're going to start holding community programs immediately. There will be a conscious singles convention for those of you who are conscious and looking for a mate of the opposite gender who's also woke. We're going to have the conscious singles convention. We're going to have Black Women's Convention, Black Men's Convention, Ex-Offender Conference, Black Media Conference, Black Investors Conference, Black Farmers Conference. We plan on having 2 conferences every month for the community. So although FDMG will be a school by day, it will also be a Black community organizing hub by night. We're about 20 minutes from the Philadelphia, Pennsylvania International Airport, PHL. So you want to look and see what flights get you to Philly the quickest, round trip from Nashville, and you just drop 20 minutes to the front door of the school. Harriet Tubman spent a lot of time in Wilmington. Frederick Douglass escaped through Wilmington. The Honorable Marcus Garvey incorporated his Black Star Line steamship in Wilmington. Bob Marley used to spend his summers in Wilmington. So a lot of history there in Wilmington, Delaware, right down the street from Philadelphia.
Shout out to you, Doc. I know building this school, I know what it's like to build something, but some of that magnitude, man, just monumental. I know that fight it's a mean fight.
It was a hard road, my brother.
Yeah.
9 years, I remember we took our first fundraiser in April of 14, St. Louis. We wanted to purchase the St. Paul's College in Lawrenceville, Virginia, an HBCU that was closed down. They wanted $2 million. We didn't have any money. We started raising money for St. Paul's College. The Chinese bought it, took it right from up under us. So then we said, well, let's just get us a day school. So I thought we were going to end up in Detroit because Detroit has a lot of Catholic schools in great shape that were being sold for a reasonable price. Once they found out the purchaser was myself, they refused to sell. Then there was a school in Mount Vernon, New York, hometown of Denzel Washington, Heavy D, Puffy. And we wanted to lease this Catholic school. They found out it was me. They said no. We had another school right outside of Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Heights Catholic school. Philadelphia, we had a Catholic school. Trenton, New Jersey, we had a Catholic school. My point is we could have been open years ago. But every time we found a school that was worth buying, once they found out I was the purchaser, they refused to sell it. And in places like Chicago and Detroit, the public schools for sale, they would only offer me the schools in the worst condition. So the good schools, they wouldn't even show them to me. When I went to Detroit, they showed me schools with no roof, schools with no back, schools with the water up to your thigh. Why are you showing me this when you got a school right across the street? So it was made very clear to me that the white power structure wasn't going to do anything to help me get this school. So one day, I'm on, LoopNet, and I see this school in Wilmington, former charter school, is a Black charter school, and I'm on my way down to the Nat Turner 2017 Great North American Eclipse, if you remember that big eclipse. It was August 21st of 2017. So August the 20th, I stopped by the school, I saw it, went down there and celebrated Nat Turner with the eclipse, came back, went to Cuba to get my EFI initiation, came back, got into the school. I said, this is where we need to be. But they wanted $2 million. We didn't have it. So they wanted the same price St. Paul's wanted. We didn't have it. So I stayed after them for 18 months. I kept calling, harassing them, pestering them. And I said, listen, nobody going to buy this school but me. Sell me the school. And then one day I called them, and I don't know, it was just my lucky day. They said, we're going to give it to you for what you got. And so February the 7th of 2019, we closed.
Wow. That's dope. Yeah. So, how do you explain to someone who doesn't know you what you do and why you do it?
I mean, formally, you know, I always start with the formal, so I tell folks, you know, Dr. Umar Ifatunde is a doctor of clinical psychology, certified school psychologist, a Pan-Africanist, a former Minister of Education for Marcus Garvey's UNIA, author of 2 books, Black Parent Advocate and Psychoacademic Holocaust, founder, obviously, FDMG Academy and the National Independent Black Parent Association. But if I was to sum all that up, I would say that as a Pan-Africanist, we all, as Black people, as African people, have to decide how we're going to make our contribution to our people. And so for me, I've decided to do it in the area of education and mental health. And so opening up this first school, we're hoping to have so many more come after it. Because from a psychological perspective, I understand we can't change nothing about our predicament until we change the way we think. And so the thinking has to be changed in the children. Frederick Douglass, one of the mottos of our school is, Frederick Douglass, who I'm related to by blood, he said, quote, "It's better to raise strong children than repair broken men." And so that's the motto of FDMG, get them while you're young, because being a therapist, I know most people who come to therapy will never change. They will never get helped. People show up with depression, bipolar, anxiety, low self-esteem, domestic abuse, suicidality. Most of them will never change because they're not ready to. So that's people who've been dealing with a problem for 5 or 10 years. You're talking about African people who've been dealing with post-traumatic slavery disease for 400 years. So if people don't change after 10 years, imagine 400.
Right.
So we have our work cut out for us, but I definitely believe that the mind, we have to start with the mind. There's no economic revolution. There's no political revolution. There's no social revolution. There's no cultural revolution. There's no spiritual revolution without the psychological revolution. And if you study all great movements in history, everyone, Chinese Revolution, French Revolution, Russian Revolution, Cuban Revolution, American Revolution, African Revolution, Vietnam Revolution, they all started with an educational system to transform the way the children thought. So if we're going to change, we have to change with the mind. You know, we want to change our spending habits. We want to change the situations between Black men and Black women. You're not going to get to none of that until you change the way we fundamentally think about ourselves.
Right. We're going to talk about some of that stuff today, though.
Yes, sir.
Sure. But I want to start with Deion Sanders. You went to the Breakfast Club, and I want to roll this clip because I want you to kind of further speak about what we saw here on the Breakfast Club. Let's pay attention.
No. He never said, I could be gone in 3 years.
What does it matter, though? His contract is
I'm going to tell you why it matters. I'm about to tell you right now why it matters, because he damn wrong. Now, if he told them, if I'm going to go back and study some more, but from what I seen him say, he was not that direct. But
Definitely.
if he was, and that's not what I saw, so we disagree there. But if he was, he's still wrong, but it's a low level because at least you was transparent and you gave them informed consent. They knew you could leave at any time.
That's right.
Okay? Still wrong. I'm gonna explain in a minute. Now, if he didn't tell them that, okay, and I'm hearing from people who know athletes on that team that they were not told it that way.
They weren't listening.
And they're upset.
Because he said that on 60 Minutes.
Okay? He didn't say it that way, Charlamagne. I saw that.
He did.
He did not. No, he didn't. Now, if he did not do it that way, that automatically means that Deion Sanders used, abused, and exploited HBCU Jackson State just to be given an opportunity to show predominantly white institutions that he could coach. If he only used them as a stepping stone to getting a job at a white college, he was dead wrong, Sanders. Now, the reason I'm so personally disappointed in Deion is I thought he was there for a movement, not for money. Meaning, Deion Sanders, the coach of Jackson State, I foresaw a situation where Deion would hire other coaches, other retired Black NFL greats to coach other HBCUs. In doing so, you attract our top tier high school athletes to come to
Maybe.
HBCU,
Maybe.
stay with me.
Eddie George at Tennessee State.
Stay with me. Football about, you know like I know, if you got top tier NFL greats coaching HBCUs, the athletes are coming just like they was coming for Deion. He showed you, Charlamagne.
Deion, though.
He showed
Dr.
you.
Umar.
And his other one's
Deion,
just as
one of the
great.
most famous people ever.
And his other one's just as great. So listen.
Eddie George at Tennessee State.
That's one person. We talking about a system, not an individual. So, depending on white money, you got HBCUs at risk of being closed. I read something that said almost a half of them, may not survive the decade. So this was bigger than football. This was about the survival of the HBCU.
It's bigger than Deion,
especially
though, Dr. Umar.
no,
Yes,
no.
it is. I think.
So I wanted to play that, and I want you to build on that some. For those of you unaware with that clip, and just to give some context and some groundwork around it, that clip was in reference to Dr. Umar's opinion about Deion Sanders leaving Jackson State and headed up to Colorado to coach that team. You mind building on that? I want us to have that conversation.
Sure. First, I want to say that I have tremendous respect for Deion Sanders and what he's done. For a long time, he was one of my favorite NFL players. I have nothing negative to say about him as a human being or as a man. We're speaking about his obligation to the black community and what he was in position to do to help secure the legacy of HBCUs. Now, the other day, Deion Sanders...
Hold on, before you go.
Sure.
Because I know you got a lot. You believe Deion can secure the future of HBCU?
I believe he had a strong chance of being able to lay the foundation for doing so, yes.
So laying the foundation and securing is different. We can
not necessarily, because we have to see it in motion. But the point is, Deion Sanders was bringing top recruits to Jackson State.
Right.
I saw Deion Sanders as being the catalyst of a movement where ex-NFL greats and NBA greats would occupy the coaching ranks at the premier HBCU campuses, pulling all of our talent that is exploited by the PWI back to the HBCU. College athletics is a multi-billion-dollar business. We have at least 40% of HBCUs right now in danger of being closed down. We tried to buy one. There's a few more that just closed down in the past year. If you lose the HBCU, you lose middle-class black America. The HBCU is responsible for more than 50% of our attorneys, 50% of our engineers, 50% of our teachers, 50% of our doctors, if I didn't say that already. So the HBCU has single-handedly kept a professional class in black America. You just had a situation, as I mentioned to Charlamagne, where the Supreme Court just threw out affirmative action in college admission, which means white colleges no longer have to pursue the black student anymore. That just made HBCUs more critical. If they don't survive, the black middle class and or professional class doesn't survive. When Deion showed up at Jackson State, and I've spoke to players after that interview, players who told me Deion did not tell us he could leave. Not that quickly. Multiple players.
But at what point do we...
But let me finish that point.
Go ahead.
So therefore, you come to this HBCU, you see the change that you're able to generate. Why not systematize this so the HBCU can now compete with the Alabamas and the Florida States for that football revenue, that basketball revenue, those top recruits. And now the HBCU doesn't have to worry about handouts and contributions from alumni and celebrity blacks, because you're now bringing in enough revenue on an annual basis from your athletic programs, the same way Duke and Carolina do, to sustain the university. Deion Sanders could have went down in history as one of the greatest black men in American history.
You don't think so?
Had he, say that again.
You don't think he's still going down in history?
As an athlete, but that's irrelevant to me. I don't care about athletes. I care about black success.
As a coach, you don't think he's going down?
As what coach?
As a coach.
He may. I don't know what the future holds, but that's not important to me.
So what is he? What would he?
Because athletics does not in any way, shape, form, or fashion compare to black survival and success. I don't care how many trophies you got, how many rings you got. That does not compare to where we end up as a people.
Is sports athletics a portal or a portal to power though?
How is it a porter to powder when less than 50% of black Division I male athletes graduate within 4 to 5 years, and at least 40% of them never graduate at all? They exploit them for 4 years, and they back in the hood selling crack and weed. How is that a porter to power?
Yeah, I understand that, but at the same time, I feel as though someone like Deion Sanders can come through that and continue to elevate.
So Deion Sanders bragging the other day that gained the home opener for the University of Colorado, Boulder, Colorado, with a black percentage of 1.3%. Cracker land. 1.3% black people in Boulder. Y'all know King Kong was coming. 1.3% black people in Boulder, Colorado. 2.6% black students at the University of Colorado. Deion bragging that the home opener made $18 million. What did that do for us?
I mean, I understand that, but I think he's thinking about his journey. The same. Hold on. The same way you're thinking about your journey.
No, my life is for the people. Everything I do is for the people.
All right. I understand, and you know we're gonna have some clapping and all of that.
You're gonna have it.
It's funny to me.
Because I'm the realest man in Black America.
Listen. What we're gonna talk about is the truth, though, because
we're dealing with the truth.
We have to live in reality. The claps don't make us right or wrong, right? What we have to focus on is the truth. You're telling me that your life. So if that was the truth, if your life was all for the people, you'll live at that school. You wouldn't have a home.
I probably won't go home once the school opens.
Before it opens, you would take the money from your home and put it in the school.
I have.
All of it.
Just about.
See, that's what I'm saying. So there's room to think about yourself.
Yes, but yourself does not take precedence over the people. My life is for the people. It is not about personal achievement.
So you don't
Nothing wrong with that. Here's what I'm saying. Because I don't want to make it all about Deion. You understand?
Right.
This is a systemic problem we have as black people, where we never subvert the personal agenda for the best interest of the race. That's where we have to go. Chinese, the race come first. European Jews, the race come first. Arabs, the race come first. And with black people, ourselves come first. And that's why we can't win, because all power is in the group. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Hey, y'all are funny, man. Y'all are so funny. Hey, you know they were gonna do this, cause you're powerful with this talking thing.
Make some noise.
This is why I brought you though, Umar, because again, the way you speak, I think you're one of the most brilliant speakers in the world. But again, I want us to hammer this point down. You don't sleep at the school, right?
Well, remember,
you do have a life outside of the school, outside of the mission, outside.
I have a life outside of the school, but I don't have a life outside of the mission. There's nothing I do on a daily basis that isn't directly tied to the liberation of African people.
I don't know.
Give me something.
I don't know your daily. You give me your daily routines. I don't know. I find that,
I'm at the airport today coming here. I'm on the phone consulting with a mother because they're trying to expel her special ed son illegally because they never done a manifestation determination. They never gave him the behavior plan that the IEP law requires him to have for them to even consider the expulsion. Then I'm on the phone with another mom trying to help her save her son. People call me 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with mental health and educational emergencies. You understand? So I'm not saying that I am the most devout black man on the planet. I'm just saying if it ain't me, I don't know who it is.
All right, so let's get back to Deion, because you popping it right there. Let's get back to Deion. So in all actuality with Deion, I feel as though when I look at even people like business doesn't have moral clause in it, right? So
no, European business doesn't have
and
moral
clause. That's what the colleges are, right? Ain't that the European structure?
Okay.
All right, so we're speaking about again, situational awareness. You cannot ignore the facts. Deion is inside of a structure and a system that he has to play a certain game the same way you do.
So Deion had to lead Jackson to go to all-white Colorado because he's in the system?
Yeah.
No, Deion.
I believe Deion to be chasing a dream. I believe Deion to be chasing a position for him, his family, and then the mission. I believe the mission is still in the car with Deion. Sometimes when I hear you talk about the mission for him is saving kids.
At an all-white school, who he saving black up there? Who Deion saving?
They go.
Who Deion saving at the University of Colorado?
He's saving children though.
Look.
His son. There they go.
Whose son? His.
Did you save your daughter?
Of course.
All right.
But
So
not
that
at the
I don't
expense.
like. Hold on.
Not at the expense.
You keep
Not at
on.
the
What I
expense.
think. Listen, it comes off disingenuous for me when you try to act like I'm gonna put y'all in front of me and mine. I got to save me and mine. He got his son with him.
I
He
didn't
is
know,
on
I
a
didn't know
mission.
Deion Sanders was broke and poor in the hood.
No, not at all.
Okay,
But
then.
my mission
So-
ain't accomplished. You ain't broken poor, but your mission ain't accomplished.
Okay.
So every day we wake up, we go towards the mission.
How is his mission tied to the white college?
His mission is tied to success and results. You're looking at it for him and his family, his
For him
son.
and his family. What about
So,
the community?
Again, that's still on the agenda, but
Where at an all-white school? Where is the community on the agenda? Where is the black community on the agenda at Boulder, Colorado?
So what I did, if I'm Deion Sanders, I come into Jackson State and lay a blueprint. I break a mold. I do something that's never been done. But for you
And
to
that
ask
was?
me, that's for what you just spoke to. You spoke to him bringing all this revenue, bringing these athletes.
And he was there for how long?
That's not what we're speaking about.
No, it is what we're speaking of.
Okay.
Because it shows a lack of commitment.
No.
See, here's the issue.
Opportunity call.
You know what the bigger issue is here?
Go ahead.
What do we value more? Building systems of success for young black children or being accepted by white people? That's what this is about. Deion went to Colorado not for the money, because he wanted to prove to white people he could coach white children.
That's not right.
Look at all them, look. Oh, it is right. Look. Did y'all see all the celebrities who was at that game last week? Did y'all see them? Flying all the way to Boulder, Colorado. Why they don't come to Tennessee State like that for your homecoming? Why they not at Howard like that? Why they not at South Carolina State? You know why? Because it was a white school.
No, sir.
It's the same reason why entertainers will go to the Grammys and go to the AMAs, but they'll start fights at the Source Awards and the BETs because we value white people. We want to be accepted by white people. Deion wanted white people to know he could coach at a white school.
I think this is miscategorization, Mr. Dr.
No,
I think what Deion wanted was to show that he can be successful in collegiate sports.
He could have done that in Jackson.
I think because he did it in Jackson. This is the point I'm making.
2 years was it?
Yeah, he did it, and he did it. He did it. So what I'm saying is, though,
Brother, come on.
Listen,
He used them to get seen, known, to go to a white college. And you know what I think, y'all? I believe the white power structure sat down, had a meeting, and said, we got to put an end to this. If we let Deion stay at Jackson, and he start pulling Ed Reed and Randall Cunningham and all these ex-NFL greats to these HBCUs, they going to steal our money. This is $1 billion empire. We cannot afford for the HBCU to steal all the top tier athletes because there will be a reversal of power in D1 sports. This is what they said. And they said, we know Deion ain't the loyal type to the black community because he the one who also criticized Colin Kaepernick for taking a knee. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to get the whitest school in the country to offer him some money to come teach them. Because he could have went somewhere. They were making a statement. Deion was sent to Colorado to make a statement that every one of them ninjas got a price. Find his and pay him off.
You know what I think? And they listen. See them faces? You see, look.
Talk to me about
that. Hey, y'all feel him. Listen, when he sit back and do you like this, bro. When he sit back and do you like this right here, he kicking the highest game he can kick right there. As high as he can get, boy. But it's effective. Listen, I think what I believe is that in college sports we have to be effective to get hired to do certain things. Just like you, I want you to look at it through your lens and the things you've been able to do and how you had to exit certain routes. You had black people come and try to fix your school up, and you had an issue with that. Sometimes the power structure calls for us to need a handoff, need an assist, need something to put us in a position.
Black contractors scheming and scamming ain't got nothing to do with Deion running to 1.3% black.
This is what I'm saying
Boulder,
about
Colorado.
So here let's wrap that around. HBCUs and business in general, not HBCUs, but business in general has no moral clause.
I disagree with that.
From
a European standpoint, yes, we ain't Europeans. Our business always have a clause.
So for us to not to have access to power, what business or industry do we even control?
We a $2 trillion people.
What business or industry do we control?
And that's the problem. And we ain't control.
All right. So his access to
school for the white ones.
His access to power goes through
Boulder, Colorado.
Goes through the power structure.
All this money Deion making for them, by the time he's done, he would have made far more for them than he earned from them. Not only that, God forbid,
that's everything.
If he ever begin. But the point is, he shouldn't even be in that position because you had the chance to restructure an entire HBCU athletic system permanently, and you sold it out for money to go to a white college. That's the facts of the situation.
I disagree with that.
It's the facts. It's undisputable. That's what he did.
That's
why he not still at Jackson.
He's not at Jackson because he had an opportunity call.
An opportunity to go to coach at a white school.
No, to showcase his skills in a different level.
Oh, we don't know what Deion is capable of?
No, not in college. Not again, you have to coach in these different markets the same way you got to go speak in different markets. Same way I got to podcast.
But I don't compromise.
It ain't about compromise.
It is.
It's about results. I keep telling you, I'm showing up to show out.
Results.
I ain't showing up to do that other stuff.
Results for who?
For my stat sheet, for what I've been able to do. Yeah, so if
They trying to turn black people to a permanent underclass, and you talk about stat sheets? Burn the damn stat sheets.
Nah, you need that, Umar. If that's the case, you would sleep in the mop room at your school.
I will be. I don't think I'll ever leave once I get there.
These are future plans, but this dude here is working now. I'm telling you, if you believe what you're telling me, you will walk in that school and say, damn it with the house, damn it with the car. Until this school get up and rolling, Umar don't got nothing.
Well, I agree with everything.
All right, so that's my point.
You can't compare my commitment to the black community to Deion's because he has yet to show it.
You don't think he's saving children?
Doing what?
Being the motivation. Continue.
I'll rest my case.
Oh, so you don't think motivation is necessary?
Brother, to whom much is given, much is required.
You're telling that to me, and I got a lot.
Deion has a lot.
Yeah.
So for you to tell me that he's somehow benefiting black children because they see him winning at a white college, that's the same argument Obama maniacs made when Barack was in the White House and Negroes said just him being there was a benefit to black people. Only problem with that, it didn't play out in the statistics. High school graduation didn't go up, crime didn't go down. You understand? We didn't do better on a single index in this country as a result of Obama being in the White House. So now you're giving me Deion on the white football field, Barack Obama in the white man's house. Listen.
They're clapping for nothing. They're clapping for nothing.
No, they clapping for the truth.
They're clapping for nothing. It's hard. It's hard because you're not even getting through it and they're clapping. So I know they're clapping for nothing.
No. They hear me, but more than hearing me, they feel me.
Yeah, they feel you. I feel you. I believe you to be the truth, like I always say.
Yes, sir.
But I'm telling you that I believe you not to believe what you're saying. I don't believe that you truly believe that someone should put everything they have into the mission. I don't see you doing that.
That's the only way we win.
I don't see you doing it though.
You don't see me doing it?
No.
Okay. Show me another psychologist who has done more to change the way black parents deal with the mental health and school system in this country.
I haven't seen, I know what you do, and for the sake of conversation, let me push back.
In history.
For the sake of conversation, I will push back. Where's the result? Show me some numbers. Show me something tangible I can look at.
I tell you what I'm gonna do.
I'm gonna have every parent I've ever saved and child I help email you directly. And then you can take it from there, my brother.
All right, now I'll definitely have it. I'll pull it up on
Black power.
on the interview.
Black
You see,
power.
and here's the
Black power yesterday, black power today, and black power tomorrow. But most of all, black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
Y'all getting Dr. Umar Johnson in rap form tonight. Y'all getting Dr. Umar Johnson in rap form. So, how far are you willing to go for your children?
As far as the mission requires. See, here's the thing. We have different value systems, right? And the problem with black people is we operate on a platform of selfishness and individual agenda. Every other group, the culture comes first. The culture comes first. Could you imagine if Deion Sanders was at a historically Mexican college and he got an offer to go to Boulder, Colorado and turn his back on the Mexican students at the Mexican college on the Mexican football team? He would have never done it.
Why is this looked at like turning your back? He took a job.
But because he did. He had a chance to make a structural, systemic, historic change in the benefit of black athletes.
You believe that they would have let him make that change, but you don't believe that we have that access to any power. But he could have made that change single-handedly.
What access to power at Boulder, Colorado?
No, it's not a finished product. This is what I'm saying.
Okay, what will the finished product look like?
But we don't know. But he's on a journey the same way.
Journey.
See, here's the thing I find disingenuous. You were someone that started a school. You went through criticism. Every move you would try
part of the movement.
And here's another black man.
I'm building a black school. He had a white college. How you comparing them?
Listen,
I know Deion Sanders had a charter school. He never owned an independent school like I do. It was a charter school. It was a charter school. It was a charter school.
Well,
Do you know what a
hold
charter
on,
school
sweetheart.
is?
We'll give y'all a chance.
Charter schools
We'll give
are
y'all a
publicly
chance to
owned,
speak.
sister.
You know, we all live recording.
Charter schools are publicly owned.
We
The
are
Frederick
live
Douglass
recording.
Marcus Garvey Academy is independently owned by black
But
people.
I'm saying, listen, back to what I'm
Charter
saying.
school.
Hey, Umar.
LeBron James,
Umar.
charter school.
Dr.
Buffy
Umar
Combs, charter
Johnson.
school.
Dr.
General
Umar
charter school.
Johnson.
Know what you say?
Dr. Umar Johnson.
Which?
Stop
She
it.
was wrong. I had to clarify.
Yeah, I understand. Listen, though.
Who owns it?
Listen.
Who owns it?
Listen.
Who owns it?
Hey, hold on, sweetheart. We'll give you an opportunity. I'm going to give you a mic
They
in
have
just
no
a
school.
second.
It's a charter school.
Listen, though. You're judging Deion Sanders, and this is
Can we
not a
get off
finish.
Deion?
We will in a minute, but I don't. Hey, hold on. Now, hey, man, y'all
I
don't.
love my
Hold on.
brother.
Whoa. Hold on.
I love my brother.
This is my show. Let's remember that. This is Loon's show. Y'all can clap all you want. We have to talk about the things I want to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Sorry.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sorry, right? Dr. Umar. Because I haven't finished this point. I really want us to spend some time in. We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
But in
I just don't
particular,
want it to look like I'm trying to dig.
I know these guys. They know this is. I'm just trying to get information, and I want you to speak to them.
Yes, sir.
As if he's watching. I want you to speak as if they're watching because they 9 times out of 10 are.
watching. They all watching.
So I'm telling you, and this is important to me. So now, I'm saying that I feel as though it's unfair for you to judge Deion Sanders in this current position as he is on the journey the same way you were on your journey for 12 years to build a school that some people say should have took 1 year.
Okay.
Now,
But how can they say that if they never built it?
you've never did what he did.
He never done what I'm doing.
So again, why you speaking?
Well, what is he doing? He going to a white college?
No,
a lot of black coaches went to a white college. What do you mean?
No. He's breaking the code of what it looks like to be a head coach. He's trying to get to a
He
head
the first
coach
black head coach of a white school?
No. He's the first
You
of his
just said-
kind. He's the first of his kind.
Okay.
He's a different kind of coach.
Okay, and at the end of the day, what are you expecting to come out of Deion? What does he change being a coach at this white school? Let's say Deion goes 30 years undefeated. What the hell did he change for black people at that all-white school?
Wait. I mean, that's a loaded question. You can change a lot of things.
Loaded.
Yeah, see, you can't tell me what a loaded question is. These are tactics, and I know you're a great speaker. Stop the tactics. You know, the this, the did. These are tactics. Yeah, these are tactics. So we want to just have a. Now listen, I believe him. Let's just move off Deion, because I feel as though. Hey, look, I feel as though. You clap too much, we going back. Clap too much, we going back. Let's talk about ESPN and Fox. What we saw with Shannon Sharpe. According to Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe had a run-in and he was let go. This news just came out. A lot of people thought he left on his own or on some kind of good
So Shannon and Skip had a run-in.
Yeah, there was some argument live
Backstage.
about.
The live show. I remember that.
Yeah, and so I think that bled over to behind the scenes and led into eventually those two guys not being able to coexist. Shannon Sharpe is now on ESPN. Stephen A. Smith broke the news that he was asked to leave. What do you think about people like Shannon Sharpe sitting next to someone like Skip Bayless and providing that type of style and swag to those?
I think the Shannon Sharpe, Skip Bayless situation is so symbolic for black people in America on many levels, because Shannon was a better commentator than Skip. He made the show, but because Skip was the privileged white man, Shannon made the mistake of outshining the master. And within the white power structure, you're not allowed to do that. And so Skip was willing to cut off his fingers to teach Shannon a lesson that you never go against the white hand that feeds you. And so it was unfortunate, but I'm glad Shannon is gone, because to me, I believe he was selling himself short, constantly trying to play humble black man to this arrogant white man.
You think he played humble up there? I've seen him do
did many a times. And you saw it on y'all saw him when he kept trying to ingratiate himself to Skip. He tried to win Skip
Give me some
back
example.
over.
Give me an example.
Just in the nonverbals, in the language, in the deference. He always tried to make sure he didn't go too far in challenging Skip. He always started the shows with the hand, the pen.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted it. He didn't want to leave. I think Shannon tried to win Skip back over, but Skip, being the slave master he is, he needed to teach Shannon a lesson. And although his ratings are going to drop, in Skip's mind, it was well worth it, because in the mind of a white man, what good am I if I can't even check a black man? So that was all about race, and it was about power. And I think Shannon may have not fully understood the rules of racism. And the first rule of racism is all white people are racist. And the second rule of racism, white people don't share power with black people. So the minute Shannon wanted an equitable power sharing in the conversation on Undisputed, he had to go. Skip had to let him know, we are not partners. I'm the slave, you're the slave, and I'm the slave master. Shannon tried to break the code, change the power dynamic. White people don't do well with you changing power dynamics, because at the end of the day, all they have is their white privilege over and above you. But with that being said, and I love my brother Shannon Sharpe, I think he got a good heart, but until he stopped running around with them damn snow bunnies, I'll never be able to give him the total respect that he deserves. I think he's a good brother, but he gotta heal whatever went on with him and his children's mother, ex-wife, whatever. But for him to be as dark as he is and to only be running around with white women, it's a disgrace to the race.
So love isn't love to Dr. Umar Johnson.
If love is love, why don't we see rich white women marrying broke-ass black men? If love is love.
Does that speak to, what are you saying with that?
I'm saying, what white woman married to a black man has ever done anything significant to help black people? Kobe Bryant's widow, Vanessa, who inherited over $1 billion worth of his wealth, she just did a college partnership in Kobe's name. And all 5 colleges she chose to be part of this Kobe Bryant thing were white. She didn't choose a single black college for this black man's money who didn't attend a college at all.
Isn't college the European power structure? So do we participate with it or not? Like at some points we hear, yo, get outside the power structure, create your own. Then other moments we hear, yo, you should have stayed at that HBCU in the white power structure because you still could have utilized it. But if you go to this other school, you're in the white power structure and you can do nothing. I'm confused as to why the power.
Be confused.
Okay,
because he can't do anything in Boulder, Colorado. At Jackson State, he could have did a lot. What we're talking about is Kobe Bryant's widow taking his black man's money and not using any of it to support HBCU.
I know black people ain't supporting nothing with their money.
Okay, so do I. But that wasn't the point.
So it ain't about the skin color, it's about the
No,
intention.
it is about skin color. It's always about race.
It's black
Everything in America is about race.
It's black people that don't help black people.
And
I ain't been helped by...
Because they've been taught not to help black people.
Okay, so if that's
and who taught them not to help black people?
It's still situational awareness.
Who conditioned them not to help black people?
Still the same situation.
Who trained them not to help black? There's a history to self-hatred. I'm not exempting black people. But any problem we got, if you don't start with a plantation analysis, you off base.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I'm telling you that it's not just being black that makes you contribute to the cause. And I think you're framing it like
black and conscious. Black and
all right, so you got black people with money that don't check the conscious box, that do nothing for the black community.
That's true.
So if we can't just say, if you're black and in a position that you're gonna do something.
But you can't scapegoat psychologically dysfunctional Negroes from the fact that they exist in a white racist power structure. The power structure is still the power structure, whether you commit it or not. And the only way we're going to get black people to be focused on building their own institutions and systems is to build our own institutions and systems. That's what Deion could have helped us do at Jackson State.
No, because
he chose Snow Bunny Boulder, Colorado.
No. See, and this is where I just think you just tripped yourself up. Because you're still telling Deion to participate in the HBCU system.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so there we are. You're still in the, so how can you do something if the system is the system no matter where you go?
A black system is a black system. A white system.
So now you're saying college, if it's an HBCU, is a black system.
The HBCUs grew out of a legacy of enslavement. You understand?
Yeah, but that, you know.
They were built to give black people the opportunity to learn how to make it in this world. They are discriminated against, they are ignored, and they are being marked for extermination. Deion Sanders was at an HBCU at a time where they really could have used him to stay put and create a system that would have revolutionized the financial system of Division I sports. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think about
chose money?
What do you think about female rap?
What do I think about female rap? Be more specific.
I think all gangster
rap is hell.
So we'll get to gangster rap. I want to focus on female.
Well, they gangster raps too, ain't they?
So it's kind of over-sexualized. People to say that it's reached a certain height that is uncomfortable for certain people.
Pre-pornographic.
So you have no, I mean, what's your thoughts on it? Just that's it.
If I were in charge, there would be no gangster rap and there would be no soft pornography rap. It'll all be exterminated. And one of the biggest contradictions I see right now as we celebrate the 50 years of hip hop is I don't hear nobody having a conversation on how hip hop has hurt black America. Gangster rap is the marketing scheme for the mass incarceration of black males. And nobody's saying nothing about it. 50 years of gangster rap. 50 years of hip hop. Most of the money made by Jewish publishing houses. Not a single black institution, relevant black institution. And let me tell you what relevant institutions are. Schools, banks, hospitals, supermarkets, manufacturing and distribution centers. 50 years, billions of dollars, the most influential music form on earth. And in 50 years, they haven't built a single institution for black people. Throw it in the trash.
So that's gangster rap. And I've heard you also say that they're flaunting in certain things. You feel as though that they're almost shitting on black people who are
the main message of gangster rap is I made it out the ghetto, you didn't.
and I'm going to flaunt to you what I have that you may never get. It's about making yourself look important to people who don't have much.
Now, by you, see, you made a lot of money off. Do you know you
make a lot of money off what?
Yeah, I got you. Just hold what you got. Do you know that? Do you know that? Do you know that you've made a lot of money in like the motivational space? Do you know people view you as like some sort? They pull motivation from you. Do you not recognize?
Of course, I'm the greatest black speaker on the planet right now. And
okay, so when you say that, and let's hold off on some of that, Dr. Umar. We'll have to now just. But seriously, people look at you.
But I don't make much money from that. I make my money from
you get your brand visibility though from that. See, that's value that goes in different buckets, especially when you're building a brand.
My credentials pay the bills, not the work for the
No, bro, you can't tell me that, Umar. Don't do that.
That's a fact.
No, it's not. No, it's not a fact. Because there's a lot of school psychologists. It's a lot of people with your attributes that don't make the kind of money you make. And if they did pay the bills, then you wouldn't take bookings the way you do.
No. Okay. I'm not going to break down my bookings.
Right.
I'm just going to say that a lot of what I do in the community is done at zero cost. I don't charge a penny to go into the prisons. I don't charge a penny to go into the halfway houses. I don't charge
Last time you've been to a prison or a halfway house?
About a month ago, last month. I don't charge a penny to go to Africa.
How do you know what to charge for and what not to charge for?
Well, because I'm a doctor, I can charge for everything that I do. But I'm saying I don't charge for anything when I leave the country.
No. Yeah.
I don't charge for anything when I work with vulnerable populations. So if one of them call me up right now and say, Dr. Umar, I work at the youth prison. Can you come down here to Nashville and speak to my boy? Sure, just cover the plane ticket. I'm not going to charge you a penny. I've never charged for those things.
Right. So how do you know what to charge for and what not to charge for? Do you charge for
because I don't charge for vulnerable populations. So if you are helping people help themselves, I'm not going to exploit that. I'm coming for free. Just get me there. That's it.
Okay. Again, I want you to know that.
And I didn't even charge for my speaking for the first 10 years. You know when I started to charge for my speaking? When it started taking me away from my psychological services. And then I had to make
If you're making so much money on psychological services, why the hell am I going to come speak for free? Or no, because I know what you're going to say. This is about the mission. So I'm saying, if I'm making so much money on the psychology, why the hell am I speaking for 10 years for free? You got. Tell me, why are you interested in speaking at all? And I'm trying to be respectful. You guys don't make me be this.
I was sitting here by the ancestors.
Disrespectful means just turn up in my car. Give me a second, Dr. Umar.
Seems like that conversation is getting heated. I go by Big Loon, It's Up There podcast. What you're looking at right now is It's Up There podcast live event. If you have not been to one, I implore you to get to one. I advise you to get to one. I recommend that you get to one. It is a one-of-a-kind event. There's nobody else that can have a live podcast and keep people that engaged and entertained, at least in our opinion, and the results show for itself. We had a packed house. I want to ask anyone that's watching this video to do me one favor. Pull your phone out. Go to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe to It's Up There podcast. And then subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you just need more of Loon, more podcasts, more entertainment, more content, and you come behind the paywall to patreon.com, It's Up There podcast, and we operate as a family back there. This conversation went on for 3 hours. I like to stress that, man, because it's so important that people know it's possible. Man, we came from humble beginnings, man. We came from nothing with this podcast thing, man. We was able to make it out with this thing. We got a packed house of black people, white people, all race of people to come here, conversation. We didn't tell them a rapper was gonna be there. We didn't tell them an athlete was gonna be there. We didn't tell them they'll get money, they'll win a prize, there's a contest, they get an Instagram post. We didn't tell them they get nothing. But to come in here, It's Up There podcast, Big Loon, and somebody to be there with them. And for that, I'm thankful and I'm grateful to each and every one of y'all. But we have to run a business. And to support the business, you have to go wherever you listen to your other podcasts and hit subscribe. Put us in that rotation. Hit subscribe on this YouTube. Hit share on the video. Comment on the video. These things are imperative as we move through this ecosystem. You no longer do us justice by just watching and not saying nothing and seeing me in public and saying something or DMing me. You now have to be visible. And so I give those marching orders to the people that's watching me, to the people that really support me. If you just a fly-by watcher, hey, do your thing. It says 71% of the people that watch this has not subscribed, but they're returning viewers. And so I have to make this kind of video to kind of instruct y'all of how to support the business. If you want me to keep these conversations coming, if you want me to keep these live events coming, you got to support it in that way. I see you guys on Patreon. Part 2 of this conversation. Part 2 of this conversation. Even more dynamic. I promise you. This is what conversation lives. We are the conversation starters. We are the content creators. They just create content from our content. It's make you a big dog in this game when you're able to make content and then feed the coach and let them eat off the content. It's Up There Podcast. I'll see y'all next week. Come to Patreon for the vibration. Let's get it.
It's up there. It's up there. Ooh, we thank y'all so much, man. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, it's your boy Loon from It's Up There Podcast. Thank you for watching the video you just watched, and make sure you subscribe by hitting the button you see on the screen, or go to the next video by hitting this right here you see on the screen. Biggest Up There Podcast.